Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by to visit today. I'm going to share with you guys my weekly favorites today. So this week I have 3 looks that I kind of put together and I wanted to share with you guys. Typically how these looks come about is I get up in the morning, got to get ready, and I just do, and then I kind of take a few pictures so that I can share how the products are performing and how much I like them. I got this idea from Lip Gloss Leslie. I'm sure she's not the only one here on YouTube that does this, but that's where I got them from, and I'll be sure to link her down below so that you guys can follow or watch her. I'm sure you guys know who she is. But anyways, long story short is I like the idea of going through what I've worn and kind of showing you what it looks like on, and then talking about the products. That way I'm able to pick my favorites in I guess a more concrete way, just because I know exactly what I've been using, and that way I get to rotate through my products a little bit more. But anyways, that's enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and talk about the look I'm wearing right now. I replicated it to do a video today. I wore it this week and I really liked it. I happened to go into Ulta one day and they already had the Royal Affair by BH Cosmetics, and I was like, yes, I'm taking you home. Let me go ahead and open this up and share with you guys what the colors look like. And as you guys can tell, it's definitely very much a fall palette. At least in my opinion, that's what it is. It's got the olives and it's got some gold and mustardy yellows. It's got the lime green. This little pop of blue right here, which is just a little bit unexpected, but I gotta tell you guys, I really like that shadow. I think it's so pretty. It's got a burgundy down here and it's just got a really nice color story, at least in my opinion. Now I'll put up above how I wore it, but I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some swatches. So the first color here on my hand swatched is the color Enchanted. It's that olive green. It's a beautiful, deep, rich shade. It's a matte color and it blends beautifully. I've really enjoyed that one. The next one on my hand that you guys are seeing is the color Emperor. And Emperor is that mustard yellow that is so in fashion right now, but it's got just enough of a I don't know, a tan in it and a mustardy color kind of shade. It's just so pretty, and on the lid it looks gorgeous. Right now I'm not wearing that one. I'm actually wearing the color Primrose, but it doesn't show really well on my hand, so I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the color Emperor. The next one on my hand is that burgundy shimmery goodness, and it's the color Princess, and it's just so pretty. It's such a smooth polish. It goes on so beautiful, and it's just that burgundy rose kind of gold tone, just gorgeous. And then in the last color right there is High Tea. Now High Tea is very much a blue silvery gray. Best way I can say. It's very much a cool tone, and that's kind of like what I really have enjoyed about this palette. I'll have a picture up here. I've enjoyed this palette quite a bit because it has that combination of cool and then of warm. You've got a gray in the color Palace, but at the same time I've got that really rich Emperor shade. I've got burgundies, I've got a pink, I've got olive greens, and then you've got these 2 colors over here that are just kind of a little bit unexpected in the color Crown and Throne. And then this one up here, Lady, it's just beautiful. It wears gorgeous. It's easy to apply. I didn't have any problem with the application. I am, however, I'm going to let y'all know, because in my last week's video I was telling y'all I was having a really hard time getting anything to really stick right here. I have very dry eyes. I have Sjogren's, and so because of that, I'm constantly putting drops in my eyes and stuff, and so there's a lot of tearing and wetness around my eyes, and I don't like that word either, but it is what it is, and so I've had to find a solution, and what I found was e.l.f.'s glitter glue. Now I happen to own Too Faced's glitter glue, and I also have NYX's. It just so happened that this was the first one I grabbed, and it just is working fine. So that goes to show you that I think this is $3. It works wonderful, and it just holds down that eyeshadow right in that inner corner where I was having a real bear of a time getting it to stick. And in that look, I pulled out one of my Ulta Beauty blushes. I picked these up, I think it was during the 21 Days of Beauty that they had that sale where you could get them for $5, and I picked up 3 of them, and I do not regret it. I think they're really good quality. This one is sweet as honey. It has a wonderful tone, and let me go ahead and give you guys a swatch of it. It blends very easily on your skin. It just performs really well. I kind of had to build up the swatch right there so that you guys could see it on camera. It's a really beautiful mauvey pinky tone, and for the fall it's perfect. It applies very easily. It blends very well. I cannot complain about these Ulta Beauty blushes. I'm really happy I got them for $5. I don't know if I would pay the $10, but for $5 they were great. And also on that day I pulled out my Physicians Floored and also on that day I pulled out my Physicians Formula butter bronzer, and I have just the plain bronzer shade. I don't have the one or whatever. I have the plain bronzer, and that's it right there. It's just such a pretty bronzer, easy to, again, to apply, blends really well, gives you just enough of a shape on your face so that, you know, I can kind of do a little bit of contouring, but at the same time do a bit of bronzing. And again, like I told you guys, my main contouring is down here, just so that that double chin is not going to show through. And also I used my Essence Loose Setting Powder. This was that part of that Casey Holmes collection that recently came out, and I happened to walk into Ulta. I think it was the same day I picked this thing up, and they had it out, and I was like, oh, and that was the only thing I really was interested in trying, was the banana powder by Essence in the loose form. I've never tried the one in the press form, but I'm happy to try this one. I tend to like loose powders a little bit better because I have drier skin, and I really like it. I think it's a good banana powder. I can't say anything bad about it, so I'm going to keep using it and giving it some love. And lastly, on that day, I pulled out, and what I'm wearing today is this Flower Beauty lipstick, which I love. Did I tell you guys how much I love my Flower Beauty lipsticks? This one is in the matte, and let me give you guys a swatch. Let me see if I can. Gonna be almost a knuckle swatch, guys. Again, I'm really sorry about that, but you guys understand. It's that one right there, and it's called Cinnamon Crush. And I would say, it's on my lips, it's very much a rich wine cinnamony color. It's got warmth to it. It's got a bit of brown. There's a little bit of like a red in there, but at the same time it's very daily world appropriate. You know, you could wear it every day. It makes your lips look alive. It gives color to your face. It is a matte, and that makes it not one of my favorite Flower Beauty lipsticks. I like her cream ones better, but I will definitely wear her mattes. I think they're great. All her lipsticks are so good. And so that was pretty much what I wore on my first look. There are going to be products that I've worn throughout it, so I'm going to kind of, you know, put them in here and in there so that you guys can see. So the second look that I pulled out was a combo kind of look, and I pulled out this Makeup Revolution, the Reloaded palette. It says Reloaded Division. I don't know. I'm not sure what that means, but I just really like this palette, especially, again, let's say for fall. Now, I've heard tell that this is the dupe for the Subculture palette from Anastasia. I don't own that palette. I don't care to own it. But when I saw this one at Ulta a few months ago, I was like, oh, I want that, because I, again, am being very drawn in by, and like everyone in the world right now, the mustardy kind of very fall shades in this palette. I love some of the peaches in there. I mean, that's a beautiful peach. I use that quite often, and it may not look like I have used this palette a lot, but I can say I've used it at least 5 times, and that's a lot in my collection right now because I haven't been wearing makeup a lot in recent months. But I think it's so pretty. And up here I'll show a picture of the colors that I used on that particular look. I think it applied very easily. It built up very well, but one thing you'll notice is it's mostly, and I'll bring it back up, it's mostly just mattes. The only 2 shimmers are these 2 shades, and so that's why I ended up pulling in my Semi-Precious palette from Colourpop. And so there you go, those are them, and I'm sure you've seen it. I'm not sure if this palette is still available. I'm not sure if it was part of the holiday collection from Colourpop last year, but what I wore on that day was this color right there. That was what I wore on my lid, and then I came back and put this in my inner corner, that one right there. And so the combination of those 2 palettes gave me such a beautiful eye look, and I felt very comfortable wearing it. Again, with that glitter glue, it was a blessing. Again, with that glitter glue, it was a blessing to find that, because I was able to keep the beautiful colors where they needed to stay. And so I was really happy with that. Here are some of the swatches from the Makeup Revolution Reloaded palette. I just really think that mustard is so very rich, and the peach color is beautiful, and that olive green, almost hunter green. It's just beautiful on the eyes. Now the hunter green, you kind of have to build it up a little bit, but it does perform pretty well. I do like it. I think it's beautiful on the eyes as well. And the last 2 colors right here are the ones from the Colourpop palette. I hope that they come through pretty well. the top one right there is the rose gold one, and then the one on my wrist, actual wrist, is the gold, more gold tone in the palette. Together they went on the lid so easily. They pack on very well. They blend into other colors beautifully. Good. Now on my cheeks that day, I wore this Wet n Wild blush. It's called Floral Majority. It's part of the regular line, and I really like it quite a bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a bit of a swatch. It won't be perfect, but it's a swatch and you guys can see it. And it's right there on my hand. And it's built up quite a lot on that corner right there. I use a dual fiber brush to apply this, and it just blends in really pretty on your skin. It gives you a beautiful little light flush on your skin that doesn't take away from the richness of the eye. I just think that this is a beautiful color to wear when you're wearing really deep, rich colors like in the two palettes that I just shared with you guys. And you know, guys, on that particular day, I pulled in a newer product to my collection that I'm really kind of digging, and I'm wearing it today, and it's this Master Blur Stick, and it's a pore minimizing primer. And I've been having a little bit of a problem with my pores right in this area. Just, you know, having a little bit harder of a time getting them to be camouflaged. Typically, I didn't worry so much about them. I don't know. Maybe it's just, again, in your life and changes in your body, whatever it may be. This is doing a great job. And I had pulled out my Smashbox Photo Finish one, and it gave me a pimple. You see that little mark right there? That was from the Photo Finish. So I kind of put that thing away. I don't want that anymore. And this hasn't done that. I do wash my face very well at night, make sure I don't have any products left in it when I go to bed, but this has done a really good job, and I've really enjoyed it. So I wanted to share that one with y'all. I pulled out a lipstick that I really like, but I don't think that they're making it anymore, and it's by Flower Beauty, and it's called Nice Bloomers. But anyways, isn't that a nice lipstick tube? I really think it's really pretty, but I'll go ahead and give you guys a swatch and kind of share with y'all on my hand a little bit more of that color story. And in the same, it's very much similar to the color that I'm wearing right now, and that it's more of a brownie color. You'll see right there, and on the lipstick tube, you guys can see that right there. It's more of a brown based tone. On your lips, just one side gives you a little bit of a cinnamony, bready, but warm tone gloss. Maybe gloss might be not the right word, but you know, comfortable lip product versus, you know, you can build it up and it will give you the color that you guys see in my picture. I really like this one. It makes me sad that they don't have this product in their line anymore, but if you own it, pull it out, wear it, because it's lovely. And then the last look that I wore that week came from my Smashbox holiday palette that I picked up last year, and it's got that whole, the front of the cover kind of shifts. I forget what that's called, but I really like this palette, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. I picked it up one day. I went to Ulta. It was like half price, and I had a 20% off coupon or something ridiculous like that, and so I paid, you know, as much as you would probably pay for a drugstore palette when I bought this one, and I just love it. It's just, I'm sorry about that. I will try not to blind you. It's got some great eyeshadow colors, which on me, they work really well. I cannot complain about the eyeshadow shades in this palette. Some of my favorites are that one right there. Again, kind of like the rosy gold peachy tones. I love them. It's got a peach blush that's got a bit of a shimmer, but then it's got this rosier one that has matte. It's lovely. And then these three over here are their contour palette, just basically, you know, fit into this palette. It's a beautiful palette to travel with, and the mirror in it is just, I'll just kind of show you, but there you go. It's huge. It's very comfortable. It's so good if you go to travel. I love this palette, and if I were to find this kind of a deal with this year's palette, I will pick it up in a heartbeat, because I cannot say anything bad about this one. I actually went ahead and got the full size of the contour palette this year when Ulta did the 21 Days of Beauty, because they had it like, I think it was like 30% off. And again, it was one of those situations where I had 30% off and I had points and whatever. Ended up picking it up for pennies compared to what it really cost. I'll give you guys some swatches. So these are some of the colors that I pulled out from that that Smashbox palette. This one right here is called Almond, and it's that matte, perfect matte crease color that you can wear, and you kind of can blow it out into the transition if you need to. The one next to it is Delirious, and it's this rosy beautiful shimmer, and when you apply it on, it just goes on so beautifully. The one next to it is Flamingo, and it's got a pinky golden peachy shift to it. On the hand, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see, and I believe that the last one right there is the color Wheat, which is this beautiful champagne-y kind of gold. It on the eye is so pretty. They just wear so well, and when I have never had a problem applying them. Now I will say that I've owned several other Smashbox eyeshadows in the past, and I think that they must have changed their formulation because I like the ones in this palette, and the ones I bought since then better. I have one of their little photo box ones that's a trio that I absolutely love. It's in the nude and it just applies so well. Now granted, all of those are matte, but I have to say that if they have something like this year and I can get that kind of a sale, I'm gonna pick it up because I really like this one. I recommend it, and if you have it, pull it out because it was from last year and you probably forgot that you have it. Also that day, and I think on the other 2 days as well, I pulled out my Laura Geller Balance and Brighten powder foundation, and I have it in the color Fair. This is what it looks like. It's just an easy powder foundation, and when I'm not wearing liquid foundation, which is like hardly ever, I don't really care for liquid foundation that much. I own a lot of it, but I don't care for it. And so I typically tend to pick up my Balance and Brighten. Now in the winter, that might change. Let me just be very clear about that. I'm in the middle still of warm Florida. It may be fall and it may be 50 and 60 in other places, but today was 82, and that's really nice and cool for us. So, you know, when you're in that kind of weather, liquids just kind of move around a little bit more than the powders do, even though I have dry skin. But also, I guess I also want to share with you guys, I also wore this one on 2 of the 3 days, I think, and it's the Becca Light Chaser Highlighter, and this one's in the color Champagne Dream. And this is one of those that I think they're not making this one anymore. I picked it up a while back. It was half price at Sephora, and I'm trying to build it up so you guys can see it because, you know, highlight is what it is. I picked it up in one of those sales that they had before they created the weekly wow, and there you go. It's right here on the corner, and you guys can see, and it has a bit of a peachy champagne shift. It goes from peach to gold, and I just really like that. It works well with my complexion, and I like it on so much. My lips that day, I pulled out an old favorite. Both of them are old favorites, and the first one is from Almay, and it's one of their, what do they call these? The Butter Kisses. That's what they're called. And this one is in Nude Light. And that's that one right there. I'll give you guys a swatch on the other side. And it's just, again, that very comfortable formula that when you apply it on your lips, just, you know, that when you apply it on your lips, finishes off your look beautifully, but at the same time, when it starts to fade, it fades gracefully. It's just a sheer formula, so you can either wear a light coat and it looks like your lips, but, you know, better with a little bit of a glow, or a little bit more, and you can build up the color. And what I do typically do is I'll wear a lip liner when I use that kind of a product, and I pulled out my Milani Statement lip liner, I think they're called, and this one is in the color Nude. And where am I going to stick you? Where am I going to stick you guys? And it's right here. You'll see me pull this one out often because it's one of my favorites. It's right up there. That's the color Nude. I just put a light layer on my lips, and that is what finished up my look that day. During the week, there were several products that I used in all 3 of the looks, and so what I thought I'd do is I'd kind of give you guys a quick rundown of what they were and how much I like them. I pulled out my Bare Minerals Bare Skin concealer in the color Light. I tend to use this almost like a foundation. I will use it underneath my eyes, but then I just kind of spot anywhere on my face that I need it, and that's what I use for coverage, and then I'll go over it with the Laura Geller foundation. I've used my Physicians Formula eye booster pen in the color Black, and I also have the brown one, and so I use those very interchangeably. This week I was pretty faithful to my Anastasia brow definer in the color Ebony. As the fall comes in, I start to want to be a little bit more dramatic in the color of my shades, so I won't use the IT Cosmetics Universal Taupe one as much, the Brow Power one, because that one kind of lightens my brows a bit, and this one just makes them a little bit more defined. I also pulled in my NYX WonderStick, and this is one of those things that I tend to use quite a bit to contour around my jawline, and then I'll go in with a little bit of bronzer. It works beautifully, and it really does help define my jawline very well. And I also pulled out my IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. It's the one I'm using at this moment the most. It doesn't bleed on me at this point. It still hasn't flaked on me. It works beautifully on my lashes. I cannot complain. Sometimes I go through with the brush from my Buxom mascara to kind of open up or feather out my lashes a little bit, but that tends to be one of those that I use more often than not. And then lastly, this is a product that I use a lot, but I have a little bit, it's a bit of a favorite, but it's also a little bit of a fail. And it's my Pure, what's it called? It's my Pure Hydrogel Lift, and I picked this up I think in the spring when they did the 21 Days of Beauty, because I use it to kind of help give hydration under here on my under eyes because I got some wrinkles, and I love that. I love it for that. But the reason I love it is that it works really well, and guys, it's just a very clear product. I'll give you guys, I don't know if you'll be able to see how it kind of adds a little bit of hydration to my hand right there. So what it says it does really well. Where it fails is, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to pick up on the edging of the silver right up here on the tube, where you can see that there's, it's a bit of discoloration, a bit of flaking. Well, if you get one of those little silver flakes inside of the product and you apply it on your face, it reads like glitter on your face, and it infuriates me. And it infuriates me when it falls on my face, because it is just almost impossible to pick it off of my face. So I love this product, but right now we're in a little bit of a love-hate relationship. I love it because it gives me hydration, but when those little silver flecks fall on around my eyes, they just annoy the crap out of me. And lastly, when it comes to makeup, I wanted to share with you guys my favorite eyelash curler of the moment. It's the Shiseido eyelash curler. I picked this up at Marshall's last year, and I love it. I have the Tweezerman one that Emily Noel recommends for rounded eyes, and on me it doesn't work as well, and actually it started to almost like rust. I can smell the product is, the metal is starting to rust, and so I kind of set it aside because I don't want that near my eye. But this one, it works beautifully. I don't know, with the humidity in Florida, maybe that one, just the metal that they use is a little different and it doesn't work as well, so I haven't used it as much, you guys. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by and for sticking around and watching. This video tends to be a little bit longer than some of the others. I'm so very grateful for every one of y'all that come around to visit, and I hope y'all come back soon. Thank you once more, and I hope you guys have a really good and blessed day. Bye!